Fenny, do you want to go first?
Sure. Arne, 100% record in the Champions League. Leverkusen are unbeaten themselves in the Champions League this season. Xavi Alonso obviously has got a big history with this place as well. It feels like it's got all the makings of a really big European tie. How do you see it?
Like you see it. It is a big European tie, which is almost always the situation if you play Champions League, even in a new format. Although there might be maybe 1 or 2 or 3 teams that are not as known as all the other teams that are in the competition. But definitely for all the reasons you say, maybe mainly also because what Xavi Alonso did for this club, especially in Europe as well. But maybe more because of how he manages Leverkusen, how strong they are as domestically, as in Europe. Last season they were incredible, of course. This season, in my opinion, they're still the same, just as good, but a bit more unlucky when it comes to results. So a game to look forward to for many people who love this game.
Obviously, we were worried when we saw Konate go off at the weekend, but he trained today. How is he, and is he likely to play?
Yeah, he's available to play, and I think also completely recovered. So there is no issue for him not to play because of what he had. Then it's up to me to make the decision if he plays or not. But he's in a good place.
The other issue after Saturday's game was something that Mo put out on social media. He did obviously celebrate the win and the fact that the club is back at the top of the Premier League, but he also finished by saying, no matter what happens, I will never forget what scoring at Anfield feels like. Now, one thing you could read into that is that it's a hint about his future, where his contract talks are going. So we've not had the opportunity to speak to Mo. Have you? And what insight can you give us as to his message behind that?
Yeah. So that was a long question. And you interpreted in a way maybe other people don't. I don't look at the Instagram posts of my players. I only talk to them, which you can't. So that is the advantage I have. As long as Tony keeps hiding them, and then you can't talk to them. Mo is in a very good place at the moment. As long as he's been here at Liverpool, he's been in a very good place. But this season again as well. So I'm hoping he can post. If it was a post, you said?
It was a post.
Okay, I'm hoping that he will post one after tomorrow and on Saturday again. And what he says with that is for me not important. The only thing that's important for me is how he plays and what he tells me when we have conversations. And that's what matters, and not how you guys interpret one of his posts.
Just to push you a little bit further, though, do you feel it is a reference to his future being away from Liverpool after the season, or can you say to us that it's not a reference to that?
Then I should have spoken to him about what he said, if that was a reference or yes or no. But I haven't spoken about him. We've spoken about Leverkusen because that team deserves all of our attention for the quality they have. And so no, I think he's out of contract in the end of the season, and Virgil said something in the press, and now he has a post which you interpreted in a certain way. This will probably continue for as long as their future is not clear yet. But in the meantime, let's hope that they bring in performances like Mo had and Virgil had as well during the weekend.
Anyone next?
Oh. He gets some help.
We know Leverkusen are an outstanding team in possession, and this has led to some teams this season, like Leipzig, playing more man for man out of possession against them, a lot like Atalanta did in last season's Europa League final, very successfully. How important will your out of possession play be tomorrow?
Very important, because football is played in two moments. It's either you have the ball or you don't, and if you play against strong teams, which Leverkusen is one of them. Liverpool as well, also though. You need to be good in both sides. Unfortunately, we were poor in the first half on both ends. We were poor with the ball. We were not as good with the ball, and we were quite poor without the ball against Brighton, which is a team that can play out from the back really good as well. So that shows us that we need a performance like the second half because Leverkusen, in my opinion, before we play them, is at least equal to Brighton when they have the ball. So we need a much better performance than the first half, and we need an equal performance like the second half.
Hi, Arne. My question kind of follows on from that, actually. You mentioned post-match that you wanted Liverpool to start with the same intensity in the first half that they did in the second and get the crowd energised. But we've noticed in recent games that some teams are maybe taking advantage of the more aggressive press, like leaving players out wide in between the wide forwards and the full-backs to utilise the space. How important is it to strike a balance between maybe what the crowd want and then maybe what the opposition don't want, particularly in a team like Leverkusen who have such great wing-backs like Ronaldo and Frimpong?
Yeah, but they have more than only great wing-backs. They have 11 very good players on the pitch. I think what the crowd wants is what I want and what our players want. We want to have control of the game. We want to be very aggressive without the ball. Maybe if we are not as aggressive, or that then we are sometimes a bit too high, we still want to try. But if you're just too late or a fraction too late, or you open a certain lane, then they can play through you. The good thing is that I always see my players running back really hard to prevent the other team from getting a chance, because although I felt, and I think we all felt this, that Brighton was the better team in the first half, it wasn't like they had 3 or 4 open chances from open play. I think if you look back at it, we got the biggest chance maybe in the game with in the first half, with Darwin Núñez. So that also shows me that even if they play through our first press, we are still able not to concede that many chances. But ideally, it's not only preventing them from playing through your press, but by having a very good press, you can also create your chances. It's probably something you really really well here at Liverpool. So that is also the reason why we want to press that high. But then, yeah, against good teams like Chelsea, like Brighton, and like Leverkusen, you cannot have 1% less than, for example, the second half intensity we had.
Yeah, Warrior. Cost at the front.
And just to go back to Mo for a couple of seconds. He's obviously 32 now, be 33 before the start of next season, but given the dedication and the professionalism that you see from him, how much longer do you think he can continue at the level he's at the moment?
There's no reason at the moment to think that he is dropping in terms of level. That's not what you look at his numbers, and that's also not what you see when you see him play. So yeah, but I don't know how to say this in English, but I cannot tell you how the future will look like. So for some players, they can. Cristiano Ronaldo, what age is he at the moment? He's still doing really well. Messi is still incredible. So, but there were also players that, like me, that weren't as good anymore when they were 33. Not that I was so good when I was 26, but I regressed a bit earlier than Ronaldo and Messi. So yeah, I don't know what the future will bring, but what I do know is that Mo is in a very good place at the moment.
Lewis.
Hi, Arne. Talked about Xavi Alonso before. As a coach yourself, what is it that makes him so special as a manager?
That's difficult to say if you don't work with him on a daily basis, that he is special. That's clear. If you go to a club that was bottom of the league, and with the same players, you bring them all the way up, and without spending that much money in that summer, only bringing 1 or 2 very good players, and he had a season that I think they only lost the final of the Europa League. So it tells you that he's special. What it is that makes him special is for me difficult to say, because I haven't faced him yet and I haven't worked with him. But what might be the situation is that he's worked with very good managers in the past. He was a player with an incredible insight in the game. He knew when to be where, and he played at the highest levels. So he also probably knows and understands how these players feel in certain moments. So that probably all contributes to why he is such a good manager. But what makes him exactly so special, the best way to find that out is talk to the players he worked with, and I haven't done that yet.
Any more? Last one over here.
Arne, I asked Queeve before about the new Champions League format, where it was the group stage. Now it's the random draw. How are you finding as a manager compared to the group stage? Is it more work? More, you're playing different teams each game now rather than the set group.
Yeah, that is obviously different. So normally you play an away or a home leg, and then you can prepare even better for the second time you play against them. Now you every time play against a new opponent. That's in some situations because every pot has some very strong teams, and some pots have maybe not the same strength. So you can be a bit lucky with the draw, you can be a bit unlucky, and then it has to do with which teams do you face at home and which one do you face away from home. So the first thing I would say is maybe it comes a bit more luck into ending up high or low. On the other hand, if you play 8 games instead of 6, normally when you play more games, luck is being ended up somewhere in the middle. And what I always said till now, ask me after 8 games or after this season, it's a better way to judge this format than at the moment. The only thing I like as a person that loves football is that on every evening I can switch to a game that is really a nice one to watch. But that's not where I'm here for at the moment. But on Wednesday evening, I will definitely find a game that I'm looking forward to. And hopefully the people look forward to Liverpool, Leverkusen tomorrow. And we don't let them down.
Well done. Thank you.
Yes.